we are a purpose-driven company, purpose-driven, people-centric company. So super important. Sometimes it's, in our view, it's not only a marketing piece. We really believe that our business is connecting culture. So having a culture, a good culture at the company is super important. We improve, so we translate ideas to improve lives. That's our mission. So people who are aligned with us are very special kind of people, that are people that want to serve, that want to help other people's lives. And it's very easy to do that when you do, to bring the right people, when you do put this in front of you all the time, especially with the new generation, right? So they want to have a workforce, a company that has a lot more to offer than just make the owner rich.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow?
Today, we look at how to hire people that are aligned with your mission. Why would you want to hire people that weren't aligned with their mission? Should be a question also, but I really want you to think about the mission that you have right now, whether you call it a purpose or whatever you have labeled it. Mission is a very specific thing to me. My definition of it is the right you want to make, it is the wrong you want to make right in this world. The mission is the wrong you want to make right in this world with your business. And so mine is around creating extraordinary leaders to change the world. And I really want to make sure that you have a mission first. And if you don't have a mission, you're going to find another episode probably a little bit more helpful. But if you have a mission, I'm sure you can agree with me that you want to hire people that not only align with that mission, but they truly get it in a deep way, not just surface alignment, but deep alignment. And so we're going to talk with this founder and CEO of CQ Fluency, and her name is Elisabete Miranda. And Elisabeth and I have a great conversation around hiring people aligned with your company mission. And when you think about, your procedures, you want to make sure they get dialed in to the point where they are so tried and true. They might be a little bit different than what others are doing, because different actually does work sometimes better than traditional. But you want to be able to fine tune those pieces in there so you find what works for you and your company. And I will also tell you, it's not about what's easy or fast, because getting the right person is such an important thing in your business. I feel like people underestimate the cost of hiring the wrong people and the cost to the culture, the cost to the work. And then you've got to find another person, and then you got to get them up to speed. So you waste a lot of time and energy on the wrong person. It doesn't work inside of our growth plans. All this to be said is, if you want to hire the right people that are aligned with the company mission, today's episode is for you. My name is Gene Hammett. I'm an executive coach. We do leadership development with companies that are on fast track. Many of our companies are on the Inc. 5000 or similar list that are growing fast. They're dealing with a lot of chaos, and they want to make sure they continue that growth. Well, they realize they hit certain points where things are not working the way they used to, whether it's communication or maybe it's accountability, and they've got to make some changes. They've got to either change the people, they've got to change and upgrade their processes and have better systems, or maybe the leader has to change and evolve in order for you to get ahead of the challenges that you're facing. Now, I don't know exactly what it is, but if you're curious about some of the work that we do within leadership development and executive coaching, and you want to join us for the conversation we have, go to coreelevation.com/virtual conversations. Inside that, you will find a way to register for something that we're doing about leadership. Specifically, this month will be PE firms are going to share back what they're looking for in terms of leadership and culture and how they value the company overall. Should be a good experience and conversation, and join other CEOs and executives of fast growth companies. If you're curious about that, just go to coreelevation.com/virtual conversations. Now, here is Elisabeth. Elisabeth, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Well, we're here to talk about how to hire the right people that are aligned with their mission. But I'd love for the audience to know a little bit more about your business. Tell us about CQ Fluency.
Sure. Well, first, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. CQ Fluency is a language solutions provider. We provide translation and accessibility services for healthcare and life science. So CQ stands for cultural intelligence, and that's what we do. We provide culturally relevant communications between people that don't speak the same language.
Love it. A lot's changing with AI, and I have no idea, how is AI changing your world?
It's very interesting because we have been in the translation industry. We use AI for the past, I don't know, 10 years or more. But after ChatGPT, AI became mainstream, right? So now our customers don't want to talk to us about translation. Everybody's what you're doing in AI, what you are doing. So we have been using, and the way that we believe, especially on the space that we play, healthcare and life science, that you have to use in a very responsible way, right? We are all pro AI, but we are dealing with lives, with people's lives. So we have to be very, very responsible on how we utilize. There's a place for it. And one of the things that we have been spending a lot of our time is talking to our customers and discussing together how we implement all the AI in the workflow that we are doing.
Well, I appreciate you being here, talking with us about your business and this, but we're not going to talk much about the actual business. We're going to talk about kind of the underworkings of your business. And I want to point out too, you're one of the few companies that have had 10 times consecutive honoree of the Inc. 5000. That's impressive. That's more than 13 years of consistent growth and really understanding what growth happens through different probably markets and different types of things going on. What do you think really are the reasons for your long-term success?
I really believe that is our commitment. We deliver on our promise, and we are constantly looking for ways of improving. I believe that being a company that focus on facilitating communications help us to create opportunities of communicating with our customers. Not easy to do it, but we have been blessed to be playing in an industry that is always growing, and we take advantage of every single opportunity that's out there for it. So,
well, and you certainly wouldn't be here without the people on your team. Like, you've got a pretty big core team, around 255 people. I know you have some contractors, takes you up into the thousands. Tell me a little bit about, how do you keep your people aligned together?
So we are a purpose-driven company, purpose-driven, people-centric company. So super important. Sometimes it's, in our view, is not only a marketing piece. We really leave that. Our business is connecting culture. So having a culture, a good culture at the company is super important. We improve, so we translate ideas to improve lives. That's our mission. So people who are aligned with us are very special kind of people, that are people that want to serve, that want to help other people's lives. And it's very easy to do that when you do, to bring the right people, when you do put this in front of you all the time, especially with the new generation, right? So they want to have workforce, a company that has a lot more to offer than just make the owner rich. So it's, and I think that's what we put in front of our our employees all the time.
It's interesting you say that, Elisabeth. I had a client man the other day that were struggling with people, and I knew that part of what they were doing was talking about the weekly revenue, and they, as an executive team, find that very encouraging or highlighting of things that are wrong. But I said, I bet your people don't care about your profitability for the week. And I said, what do you think they care about? And they're like, I don't know. And it was really interesting. It came back to the finding the mission and reconnecting to the mission was something that they had lost sight of, didn't even know it was important. So I want to turn this into a question. When you think about your own mission, why was it so important to have a mission in the first place?
Oh, so actually I create the company based on improving the communications challenge that I had in the healthcare area when I immigrated for this country. So the DNA of the company is something that is to improve lives, right? And it's very interesting that over the years, when doing a lot of like leadership training and participating in a lot of conferences, CQ Fluency is a diverse business, so we are minority-owned. And there are organizations out there that does provide a lot of education and leadership training where you open your eyes that what you are doing has to take into consideration the people that you have. We don't sell products, we sell service, right? So that means we sell our people. So we have to put our people first. One of my inspirations were the book of the owner of Zappos, The Pursuit of Happiness. I really believe in that. Like you have people, they're gonna make your customers happy. So before you think about what my customers need, you have to think what will make my people so excited that they will do whatever our customers need, right? So
we've been talking about mission. I thought I would just highlight the way I see mission and vision very quickly. Mission is the wrong that you want to make right in this world. I said it in the opening, although I think I flubbed it a little bit, but maybe we corrected that. But mission is the wrong that you want to right in the world with your business. And you got to think about that. You can Google missions for similar companies you admire, and just get a feel for what a mission is from their perspective. And that's what it is. Now, a lot of people confuse that mission and vision. So I'll go ahead and tell you my definition of vision. Vision is what it will look like in the future when we get there. So if I have a 3-year vision for my company, it's now 2024, 2027. If I walked around my company, what would it look like? And if you walked around your company, what would it look like? What kind of customers would you work with? What kind of partners would you have? What kind of executive team would you have? What kind of sales team, marketing team? What kind of customer service? What kind of technologies? What kind of awards would you win? What kind of media coverage would you get? What would media say about your business? If you get a really clear picture of all those questions and many, many more, then you will have a clear vision of what the future looks like. So the mission is the wrong that you want to right in the world. The vision is what it will look like when you get there. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you want a worksheet to help you through it, send me an email. I've got a worksheet that will help you through this exact thing to help you come up with your mission and vision. Just send me an email, gene@genehammett.com. Happy to help. Back to Elisabeth. I've had a question that has played through this podcast for years, and I don't ask as much anymore because I know the answer, but you just said something that I want to bring the audience into that research. And I think you would agree with me. I've asked a lot of founders like yourself, what's more important, your customers or your employees? I know it's an impossible question because you have to have both.
you have to have both.
What would you say?
Yeah, it is. I always say we our people first, because again, without them, I can't serve the customers, right? And that's what we look when we are interviewing. That's what we look for, people that have a server mentality, right? So because if you have people like that, they will always be looking at the best interests of the customer. But it sounds very simplistic. But that's what we try to look for people that really have a mission, have a strong why. We ask this question in interviews. What's your why? It's a lot of time people look at us, what you mean? And it's not that we expect that people are going to have the answer, is to make people think, right? What is important and what we're going to be looking into.
I do collect favorite interview questions. So I'm going to ask, is that your favorite interview question? What is your why?
I know my favorite is, what moment in your life was your most proud moment? I love that. Always, that one always make, and it's not about business, right? It's not about their professional life. I love to hear when people, because you see their eyes shine.
Yeah.
when you ask this question, and you gives you a very good perspective on the personality, which is super important.
Elisabeth, I set this up as we're going to talk about how do you hire people that are aligned with the mission. We've been talking about what your mission is, why it's important. Let's dive into your procedures or the way you see hiring people that are aligned with your mission.
So first, I have one of the best, she was just promoted VP of people, one of the best recruiters that I ever saw. And she really is totally aligned. Not wrong, she leads the department, but the department is so super aligned with the missions and the values of the company. So that's where we look for first, right? People that can have by the interviews, but what the way that they conduct themselves, from the interaction on answering our posting for a job to the scheduling interviews. So a lot of times we have a lot of overtime, unfortunately, because we have a lot of rush work. Sometimes we ask people to do interview outside of business hours just to see what's their reaction is, right? So we look really for people that when they come here, they will not gonna be deceived for what we have to offer. We have an offer that's amazing. Our company is incredible with incredible culture, but we are very demanding. Not because we want to, is our customers have very short turnaround time, so everything needs to be fast, right? So the way that we recruit is really looking into the not in the skills, but really looking much more by the personality and the EQ and all the good stuff that's much harder to identify. And we have several people interviewing, and I still interview every single person that before they are hired.
I know a lot of sophisticated organizations like yourself that have a consistent track record of growth have procedures for damn near everything. Because they're looking to improve those procedures, and when they're written down, I find like they're easier to improve. But if we're just haphazard doing it different every time, it's hard to improve those things. So you guys probably have a procedure for the interview process. What would you say is a different element, something you guys do different than what your peers do?
So the way that we do different, I think that one of the things that in all interviews we emphasize a lot is the company culture and trying to be extremely open, transparent, and honest on what means to be a CQ employee. And that's normally people don't see a lot. The other thing that we do different is me interviewing everyone. I normally get the reaction of a lot of people, especially entry-level positions. It's incredible how they still think that's so important that they are talking to a CEO and get even nervous about, right? So we have an approach, a very human approach, where people feel that they are going to be part of something that they're not going to be just one more. So I think that is something that we do, that at least people, our employees, they always comment on, they never had such experience going through the jobs that they normally have.
Side note, when I was doing research on your company and looking at your website, I felt that human approach throughout everything that you guys are doing. I'm sure that's intentional.
Thank you. Today I had 2 interviews, and one of them I asked, I know she's gonna be picked like this. She's fantastic. So my competitor is gonna want to hire her too. So I told her, I said, why would you, if you get an offer, why you choose CQ? And she went on and on saying that absolutely everything that I read, everybody that I talk, the way that even the brain works, it's culture, it's the human touch, and that's, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of something. Sometimes we have people here saying that the employees got Kool-Aid, because it's just like everybody gets very excited. We look for the excitement, and one of the things that we do also to keep this the excitement, we have monthly meetings. It's called CQ United, and we try to cover business for a very short period of time. We are very transparent. We share our numbers and everything, but short period of time. The rest of the time we spend celebrating the team, celebrating by giving people opportunity to talk. We celebrate their kids, their dogs, their graduations, but really engage the team, because everybody's remote. Almost everybody's remote. So I think that it's not only bringing the people, but really keeping the people engaged. Yes. And we do this because we love them. We really love the people. It's not like, yeah, we want them to produce too, but the main reason is really make them happy and create a positive impact in everybody that they touch, being the colleagues or the customers.
Now, Elizabeth's been talking about hiring. One thing that we didn't get into very deeply, but I want to share with you, I think is very important, is to not just hire on skill fit, but actually hire based on culture fit. And the number one way to do that is to have a core set of values for your business and to be able to have questions that help you assess whether those persons have the alignment with those values. And if they do, great. If they don't, then you got to keep looking, because if they're out of alignment with those values, the ones that are most important to the leadership of the team, then if they don't operate that way naturally, then you're going to be frustrated with that person, no matter how good they are. I just believe this in my heart. I've seen it many, many times. You want to hire based on values, and you want to make sure they have the skills too, but you can't just short track that and just hire for skills, in my opinion. Back to Elizabeth. When you think about the next stages of growth, you've got a pretty big company, 275 people-ish. Is that right? 275? 255.
Yeah.
255.
Yeah.
And you're going to probably continue growing. What are you focused on next to keep your team aligned with this mission and keep everything moving the way you want it to be?
So we recently went to a transaction, and we were extremely intentional about it, right? So I have a private equity investment now, and we picked very, 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 very wisely. So the name is Ariel Alternatives, and they focus only on diverse minority business
Okay.
to help close the wealth gap. So the mission is super aligned. It's a totally different approach. It's really giving opportunities for the underserved, which is what we are all about. And so that's the next growth phase. I'm super excited. One thing that we did, we had for the leadership, we had equity plan that in case we had a transaction, everybody would benefit. And as soon as we went to the transaction, I expanded that and for everybody in the company that was with us for over 2 years, everybody got something.
Okay.
And it was the positivity and the engagement, the motivation went to the roof. Like normally when companies go to private equity transaction, it's very common that people get afraid and leave. And nobody left, and everybody is extremely excited. I told everybody before we did the transaction.
Yeah.
So it's really keeping engaged, like people feel they are part.
I am excited you shared that with me, because we're actually doing later, I guess in the beginning of April, we're going to do a special session that's closed, it's open to people, but it's not going to be public, if that makes sense. And we're going to talk about what private equity looks at in terms of leadership and culture as they do valuations, because there's a lot of companies that might want to sell in 5 or 10 years. And so we're going to invite them into that. And so I appreciate you mentioning that experience you had. Elisabeth, as we wrap up today, we came here to talk about how to hire people that are aligned with their mission. I don't know if there's anything we left out or something you want to highlight as a part of that process, but what is it that really kind of closes this conversation?
I think that maybe not focusing on the negative, but now sometimes, especially in a fast growing company, sometimes you cannot take too long to hire, and you do make mistakes and hire people that maybe because of the skills that they have, the previous experience that they have, that you make mistake and bring somebody that is not totally aligned with the vision, right? I unfortunately went through this a couple of times. We tried hard not to be, but when you are growing way too fast, sometimes you don't have a choice, right? And you have to hire somebody that you are not so sure. And when that happened, I think that in order for you to keep the culture and keep having the right people, you have to make sure you are fast to fire, right?
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done.
I'm not crazy about the term fast to fire, because it feels like we're not taking time to develop people. I get the concept, because one of the biggest problems I think a lot of entrepreneurs and people have to learn is firing is a part of the process. And, the people that got you here may not get you there. And as your company grows, I mean, I'm having this happen with one of my friends right now. His entire executive team was great to a certain point, and then it just started to fall apart because as they tripled in size, they weren't growing as fast as the company was growing, the complexity of the business and whatnot. So I like to make sure, one of the things I like to do when I talk about firing people is it should never be a surprise. Absolutely never be a surprise unless they've done something illegal, fraudulent of something, egregious. But you should have these conversations. You should, talk about and engage. I'm sure you agree with that process, along with firing fast or firing them, not letting it linger and fester.
Absolutely, yeah, and yeah, the fire fest is too dramatic, but that is the point is if somebody has an attitude problem, well, and or like do not align on the way that you want your company to show up in the marketplace, they're not gonna change, right? So it depends, especially when the higher the level that they have more power of influencing others, it's even more critical, right? But I totally agree with you. It's just like can never be, even on a performance review, you should be not telling anybody at performance review that they did not know before, right? So the feedback needs to be
True.
right there. And it's not an easy thing to do. Like it depends on the culture too. Like I'm everybody's from different cultures, but Brazilians are known for being nice people. They want to be nice people. In order to be nice people, it's hard to say tough things. So this is something that I work with my coach on it, like making sure that I say what needs to be said, not in a mean way, in a kind way, but still giving the honest feedback to the people.
Elisabete, thank you so much for being here and talking about how to hire people that are aligned with your mission. I really appreciate your wisdom.
I really appreciate being here. Thanks so much for having me.
Wow, what a great interview. I love so much about what she was saying about how hiring and firing is important to the business and everything about, how to hire people that are aligned with your company mission. Such an important topic. And a lot of people don't think about it. They just want to hire people that have a skill. And that's the wrong way to look at this. You've got to hire people that you're inviting on that mission with you, not people that can get the work done, because they will quickly burn out, or they'll quickly get to a point where they'll annoy you and they'll be annoyed and then they'll leave. And then you're left trying to replace that person. But if you hire someone that is really aligned with the mission, they're going to stick it out because they feel connected to it. That's my take on it. And I want to make sure that you understand that. If there's anything I can help you with, is it relates to growing your business or leadership. Maybe there's a key employee that needs leadership training. Maybe your managers want to be better leaders and you want to support them. I can help you. Just reach out to us. Check out what we have at coreelevation.com. When you think of growth and you think of leadership, think of Growth Think Tank. As always, lead with courage. We'll see you next time.